Welcome to American Outback episode 4 with me, MrSealyp. With all that contracting work done, it's now time for a new harvester. That's what I was doing the work for, to get a new harvester. I need a bigger one, absolutely. That's not to say I will stop at one, but I do need a bigger one than this. So, sell that. And sell that. Bank balance is looking a lot healthier. Now I'm doing something a little bit different this time. I've used the case harvesters. I've used the New Holland CR1090. I've used the Fent pack on Drummard. So what I'm going to do is a bit of a mix and match. I've used the Massey Fergusons every now and again, and the Fent pack was really just a reskin. These ones are a little bit small. I'm going to go for the Rostselmash Torum 760. It has got a smaller tank capacity, 12,000 as opposed to 14,500 on the New Holland. That's 12,500, that's 12,330. Between these you're looking at 500 litres. it's not a huge amount. So I'm going with the Rostselmash. No upgrades available, so I will buy that. But this is where I'm mixing and matching. I'm going to go with the large case header. It's red, so it will work. The draper 45 foot. The pipe on the Rostselmash is long enough for it to work, and it does mean then that I've got a towed header, which means it's easier for getting around the roads. I mean, the reds aren't far off, it's not too bad. So case header, Rostselmash harvester, and still got a little bit of money in the bank. It's quite a boxy bit of kit, but it does the job. It's nice, I do like this. Quick look inside. Quite basic, bare minimum, everything you need. Now actually what I will do, I'll show you this very, very quickly. Line up. When you hook up, watch the tyres. It looks brilliant, and I do like the rock of the harvester when you load it and unload it, or hook it up and unhook it. So if I unhook it, I will lower it first. Brilliant. So this needs to go back over to the farm, ready for our first harvest. I'm thinking of as well, maybe doing some silage baling to make a bit of money as well. Be a little bit different than just doing contracting all the time. It was suggested to me that I can't remember who it was. I'm really sorry. I should be, when I check my messages and my comments, what I need to do is start writing down names. I know I said that a while back, but start actually writing down the names of people that comment on certain things. So when I actually do mention it, I'm actually giving them credit where credit's due. Anyway, right, a couple of things I wanted to just talk about and ask while I'm driving over. Again, based upon a couple of comments and a few things that were put down on a couple of videos. On a map like this, it is difficult to start making money when you get, because they're big fields and you've got nothing really to start off with other than small machinery. Getting the million, that I'm not too bothered about. Certain maps I've kind of held off and tried to avoid doing it. On this one, didn't bother me in the slightest. Question: how do people feel about the money cheat mod? The money box thing? Because the few comments that were left, people are saying they use it, but only use one or a couple or whatever, and they generally do that regularly. Some people are just adamant, no, don't use them, shouldn't use them, it's cheating. What are your thoughts? I'm not saying I'm going to use one, I'm just curious as to what people think. Do they use them regularly? How many do you use? Do you kind of in your head justify it in some way by making up a narrative, I don't know, whatever it might be, or do you just do it? So there you go, there's the question. Just curious as to whether people do use them, how many, how often. Is there just you after a certain bit of machinery and you just think, you know what, it's quicker and easier to do that? Just curious. Where should I put this? So there we go. New purchase for the farm. Port over, parked up. Lovely job. I know I said at the last episode I'd sell off all the crop I had and that kind of thing. I did one bit, I think the canola I sold, and then I started thinking, well, they're so tiny, the tiny amounts, I mean ridiculously small amounts I had there, it did seem a bit pointless, so I didn't carry on doing that. I've left the rest of it in storage. I'm thinking about mowers now, maybe a mower and baler, maybe have a look at doing some silage bales. I'm just curious how the grass is going to cut and all that kind of thing as well. So that's possibly next. I need to check on the fields, see how they're getting on, whether they're on the next growth stage or whether they need sorting out or not. The answer to the fertiliser question is yes, the fields are ready, but something that did dawn on me was I do need to put row crop tyres on these. Now I did have a look around the farm and I couldn't find around the farm here a customisation point for the vehicles. There's no barn specific for it that I could locate, so I'm going to have to head up to the store and convert it there, which is unusual. I know there is a mod you can put in the workshop. That's 25,000. That's a lot of money. Maybe when I've got a bit more money I might consider doing that, but again, if you know if there is one at the farm and I've just missed it, where is it? That would be really helpful. So very, very quickly, I'm weaving all over the place. Very, very quickly take this over to the store. What I could do with filling up actually as well. No video yesterday. There was a good reason for that. I decided to get a PlayStation 4 Pro. So I went and purchased one. It took a little while obviously to convert everything over, transfer all my data and set it all up and get things going, so I was kind of part way through recording a video, and so yeah, that's why there was no video yesterday. Don't get me wrong, I take no pleasure in that decision. I wasn't excited about getting a PlayStation Pro. I wasn't, you know, I did it for you guys, for the fans. I did it to make the videos better, hopefully the quality better. Who am I kidding? Oh dear. Yeah. I did say a while ago I was thinking of getting one. I wanted to get one, so I did. Obviously it comes with a terabyte of storage space, which meant that everything I had fitted in rather well. I do play other games too. To be fair, not very often, but I do. Come on. So yeah, and so far it's working brilliantly. Chucked a film on last night to double check. Got a 4K TV. So it's, wow, I mean, yeah, picture quality was phenomenal. Absolutely incredible. So if I just drop that off, put that down there, drop that off. Let's customise this very, very quickly. $1,600. Good grief. Definitely need one at the oh good god, that looks awful. Never mind. Needs one at the farm. Really does. There was a mod for one, wasn't there? I'm sure there was a mod for a customisation point. If there is, I'll stick one in. Like I say, unless there is a point, let me know if there is. Right, I'll top this up, get over to the field, and or fields. Field 6 needs doing 21A, as I've renamed it, or renumbered it anyway. I've done field 1 here, but obviously that was done a lot later, so that won't be on its first growth stage yet, but hopefully by the time I've done the other bits it won't be far off. So I'll get over and do that. Bear with me, and I will see you momentarily. The tanks are topped off. I'm just coming up on field 6 now. And this is the moment of truth. I did test it in the last episode on a contract. This is my own field, my own bit of machinery. We shall see. I'm going to put the beacons on because this is a warning. This could go horribly wrong. I hope not, but it could do. I was also not criticised, but it was suggested to me that if I'm doing crops, if they've just been put in the ground, and obviously first growth crops, my boom height should be a lot lower than it is, so I apologise for that. Trouble is, my mind's gone blank. So let's drop this down. That's better. Right. Let's see, shall we? Okay. Hooray! The Kuhn update seems to have resolved that issue. Now, it was also said to me that it seemed to be a little bit random. On some people's maps it did it on some fields and not on others. This is one field. I don't know if it's going to play up at all on any others. Again, we will have to see as the Let's Play continues, but for the time being, turn the beacons off. It is no longer a warning or a hazard or a risk. It's working perfectly. So once these are done, hopefully, see if I just quickly set a worker while I check on the map. If I now come to the map, we are down at field 6, down here. So fruit type is soybean, growth, first growth stage, but should be soil composition. Fertilising state should be on the third one now. It was ploughed. I obviously fertiliser sprayed it, then it put fertiliser down when it was seeded, and now the first growth stage putting this down. So that's it, done. All 3 states. All I need to do now is leave it to grow. Then hopefully when it's done, that'll be maximum yield, maximum profit. Again, in theory, it should. There's absolutely no reason why it wouldn't be. I'm glad this is working actually, that's good. And the Zetor works perfectly. Pulls this, no problem at all. Field 6 is done. I'm over at field 21A. Again, if you haven't watched this series before, I shouldn't have opened that yet, and you're looking on your map furiously thinking, where's field 21A? I've just named it that myself, only because it's just above field 21, because it was an open expanse of ground and I've made it myself. I needed to kind of number it in my head, so it's just above field 21, so it's 21A. Kind of works in my head anyway. I don't know how this is going to work because this is my own field that I created. It should work fine. Worker is off and running. Okay, brilliant. Should be enough turning room at the end. I'm sure it worked the first time round. Right, I'm back to the farm. I'm going to go and grab the Massey, or the Fergie. I keep saying the Massey, the Fergie, it's a Fergie. And head over to the store. Back at the store, and time for a mower and baler combination. Again, it's not criticism, but I've had comments made. I try where I can to showcase new mods, to put different mods into the maps as I'm playing them. As new ones come out, what I generally find is if a new mod comes out and it's really effective and works really well and I really like it, I generally stick with it because it kind of makes sense. Why would you use something that doesn't work as well just for the sake of using it? But I get people want to see different things. I really do. I've used various different combinations of balers. These balers, the big balers, work brilliantly because you can use the quadro and stack 4 bales at a time. Then you can use the different fork sets, and you can load trailers much easier with it. Obviously, there are other balers that it would be nice to see. The new Kuhn one, for example, the LSB 1290D, great baler. But if you're going to do silage bales, you need to bale them, then wrap them afterwards, which means you've got double the price. Well, it's not double the price, but 159,000 to get both of those, and you've got to go over the ground twice. With the FBP 3135, the baler wrapper does round bales, but it does it all in one hit. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to lease it because I'm going to do it for the time being just to do silage bales, but that is not going to be my ultimate. It's not going to be my baler of choice for this map. For doing silage bales, probably, and when I've got more money, I'll probably buy one. But for the time being, I'm going to lease it. Again, it's one of those situations where people are for leasing, against leasing. It happens in real life. People lease equipment. They can't afford to have, $100,000 bits of equipment sitting there that you only use once in a while. So generally speaking, they'll lease it. I need to make enough money to justify leasing it. So if I select it, wrap colour black, leasing it's 10,800. So realistically, one of my sets of silage bales I do, one trailer load, should cover the cost of leasing it. It's certainly better than buying it. So I'm going to lease it. The other thing is with mowers. Now, again, there are lots of mower options available now with the new one in the Kuhn pack as well, which is a 4.3 metre one, which is great. I generally go for the Nova Cats and not the Splendimos. I did use the Splendimos on, I think it was Goldcrest Valley, way back when. Downside with these is you can't hook them together, these two, whereas the Nova Cats you can, which give you more options for then putting these together as a set and then sticking something else on the back so you can do multiple jobs all at the same time. The Splendimo is, well, 10 centimetres wider than the Nova Cat. I'm going to look at other options, but for the time being, again, because I'm not going to use it very often, I'm going to lease the Splendimo. I haven't used that very often, 960. I'm going to lease that. When I decide what combination I'm actually going to go with longer term, and when I've got more money, then I'll end up buying. But for the time being, leasing will do very nicely. I'm going to find a field as well that I can use these in, and while that's all happening, hopefully my worker is spraying that field really well. I went for the slightly wider one, the Lely this time, only because I'm using the Massey Ferguson, and obviously the crop destruction's on. It's got a slightly wider width, so I'm hoping that will more than cover the wheelbase of the tractor, so I won't damage any of the grass while I'm going over it. That's kind of the theory. It will take longer doing it this way because obviously I'm not cutting with triple mowers, then windrowing and then baling. But start of the map, start of the Let's Play, I just haven't got the money to do that. Again, I suppose I could use a cheap mod. I could do a couple of more contracting jobs and buy triple mowers. Then I'm going to need a windrower. Then it just gets more expensive. So for the time being, this is what I'm going to use. It is getting late. What is it? 25 to 7. Yeah, might get some baling done. Obviously, it'll be bedtime soon. I'll get this over to the field that I want to use it on, and then we'll get cracking. We'll go and check on the worker as well on 21A and see how we're getting on. So a lot of these fields that just have grass in don't have numbers, but I am down in the southwest corner of the map, the little flashing icon below Tombstone Grains. and let's give this a go. So, put it on front mower. And let's turn this on. Drop that down. And see how we get on. So I'm quite curious. Yeah, it's interesting how the ground, I suppose it's the default kind of grass setting, isn't it? But you've got a very arid, dry grass area, lots of browns and sort of khaki and a little bit of green. Yet when you mow, you still get that real dark, lush green kind of swath of grass, which is interesting. Interesting to me anyway, probably not to anyone else. So we'll whiz around the field as many times as we have to, make a few bales here. Turning's where it's going to be a bit of an issue, only because I don't want to damage any of the grass that I want to cut. The yield isn't too bad, bearing in mind it's just a normal field. Starts to wrap and I'll carry on. That is the only problem, being that I'm close to the water, the bale's rolling, I could end up losing some. I hope not, I hope it will stop before it gets that far. Now, as I usually say, this will continue. I will do as much of this as I possibly can, getting into all the nooks and crannies, and then I will work out what I'm going to do about a trailer and collecting it all actually. Again, that might need to be a lease just for the time being. I know I keep using a lot of these phrases, things like saying, oh, nooks and crannies. I must admit, it doesn't dawn on me that if people are watching from different places in the world, you might not have a clue what I'm talking about. It may not be a phrase or something you've ever heard before. So, yeah, I do apologise. If you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe I need to start leaving a glossary of terms, so it makes more sense. So I've done the fields either side of the road. Not quite sure how many bales is at the moment actually. So turn that off, lift that, fold it, and let's have a quick look in the map, shall we? Not the map, but the stats, the menu. How are we looking? Right, down to the bottom. Created bales. 51. Okay, 51 silage bales. Should be okay. Little bit of money, which will certainly help out now. What time is it now? 8:15. It's taken a while. Now I've got to decide how I'm actually going to collect them. I've got a bit of a plan in my head. So I'm going to take these back and put them up actually at the store. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them again. Actually, I might not find another field to do. I don't know. I'm going to take them back towards the store anyway. If I see something else to mow, I might just carry on mowing. It is getting late, so what I'm deciding to do, I think, is collection of bales will be the next episode in the morning. I'm going to check on the fertilising state of field 1. Should we turn in the right place? Here we go. And obviously there'll probably be some harvesting we'll need doing in the morning. There's a few hours to get through until then. I'll park this up. Actually, drop these off. So that's it for this episode. Things are moving forward. We should start to get some more machinery as the money increases. Like I say, these are just leased, but we will be purchasing bits as we go. Actually, it goes right next to it. Perfect. Brilliant. But that's the end of the episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share the video, please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do, I will see you in the morning. Thanks for watching.